Hello everyone, my name is the King of Candles and welcome back to the Minecraft Book Club, the series where I play Minecraft while talking about books. And today, we're going to be reviewing the entirety of 1984. So the last few episodes, we've been reviewing it chapter by chapter, I've been giving my thoughts, and now finally we're going to talk about the entire book. And while we do that, we're going to be building a fence around this area. I don't know if you guys can see it from down here, but I have done some off-camera work. So there should be like a layer of deep slate or cobblestone around the mountains. I don't think you can see it from down here. But I basically went through and outlined where we're going to put the fence today. And it took like 8 stacks of, or no, it took 10 stacks of like cobblestone and deep slate and stuff to just outline it. And we're going to be making the fence out of wood. So I did some off-camera work. We've got that skeleton grinder. Oh, I even have the boots from the skeleton grinder with me still. But I just sat for 2 hours bone mealing stuff. Most of this spruce is actually just from me chopping down all the trees to clear out the area up there. And then we're also going to need a lot of stairs and stuff too. So I made 6 stacks of that. So it should be a pretty cool fence outlining the area. I think we're not going to do the entire area quite yet because, we haven't even cleared out that area of the forest. So I think we're going right above this cave all the way wrapped around to like this corner. And then we'll deal with that area another time. But for today, we're just going to do this big U. And if you're extremely observant, you might have noticed that I have a fully restored axe now. So we got mending from this guy, so I went ahead and put it on the axe because it was a lot of wood I had to chop down. And we're going to need to strip a lot of wood today as well. Yeah, let me clear out my inventory a bit just because I don't need to carry all of this stuff. We've got a full inventory of this wonderful wood, and we're going to go ahead and place that around our area while talking about 1984. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Actually, I'll need a bed. I'm going to take a bed with me so I don't have to climb down each time. Alright, so I think this is a better view of basically what I've done. I've kind of cleared out the first few layers of trees, and I have the stone wall going around the base. And basically the pattern we're going to do today is we're going to do spruce and then dark oak, like this. Just going around the area. And like if we want to curve a little bit, then we curve sort of like this, but it'll just be like a zigzag sort of following this wall the whole time. So we're just going to start off with doing it like this, and then we will come back later and stack it up a little higher. I just want to get the general layout of it down first. So overall, I think I did enjoy the book 1984 quite a bit. Although I do have like a couple complaints about it and a couple things that I liked. So we're just going to discuss that today. Things I liked, things I didn't like, that sort of stuff. So I'm generally of the opinion that this book's pacing is pretty bad. I feel like Orwell could have gotten his message across without a lot of the scenes in the book, and I don't think many of the scenes add to the argument or, just generally help the narrative that much. If there was stuff going on that was important, I feel like that would be fine, but for the most part, the book is just filled, I think, with a lot of filler. I also felt like the very beginning of the book tended to drag on a bit. So for me, I didn't really get too interested in the book until like the later parts of part 2, after O'Brien gives Winston the little book that one guy wrote. I forgot his name. I forgot who the enemy of the state was. But I feel like once it got there, it was fine. But up until that point, it was just kind of a really boring read. Okay, so I just finished the first initial pass through, and we come out to like right here, right above the cave. So we're just gonna go back around now, doing like a variable amount of height on each thing. So maybe like 3 on that one, 4 there. Maybe this one only goes up to, just random sizes like this. So I think my main issue with the pacing just in general is because I don't really understand the romance subplot of the story. Honestly, like Julia's role in the book, I don't get much either. Like maybe it's supposed to portray that like even love isn't safe from government interference or something like that, but it was just a really weird subplot to the book that I don't think I really, I guess appreciate or even understand. Because I think, yeah, the romance subplot takes up a lot of time of the early portions of the book. Is just like Winston being obsessed with like mutilating this woman, but then falling in love with her, even though they like barely know each other, and she's just kind of sleeping around to like protest the government. It's not really a compelling story there to me. I think there could have been a better romance subplot to do what Orwell was trying to do, which I believe is just show that like love isn't safe from government interference. But ooh no. Oh no. That's fine. Ugh, that sucks, but it's fine. It doesn't matter that much. This thing is also way too close to the wall. Dang, that sucks. That's gonna bother me, but I already don't care enough to fix it. So I guess another thing is like I just don't understand the role of Julia in the book cuz like she's very important. Winston's freed from the Ministry of Love after betraying Julia, which now that I say that it's kind of ironic, right? You get released once you betray your love. But it's just like a weird plot in the book that I don't think the book really needed or benefited from in general. So I feel like the book would have just been better without Julia and maybe just like, I don't know, betraying a family that was already married. Like that might have been a more interesting book to me is if Winston already had kids or a wife and he had to betray them cuz like betraying Julia in that moment is pretty easy cuz they've only been dating for like 6 months. So it's not like a super cool important plot point to me. But it was like the entire conclusion of the book, which is a little in my opinion. Like, it's not terrible, but I would not have written it that way myself if I were writing the book. I think what I'm basically trying to say here is that I wasn't invested enough in Julia for the important parts with Julia to really matter to me. Right? The betrayal of Julia is not like a really cool moment to me because I didn't like Julia to begin with, and I don't think she had like a good role in the book. So, to me, Julia kind of ruins a fair amount of the book. I think that's all the negative things I have to say about the book, so the rest is just gonna be praise, essentially. First off, like, the message of the book is phenomenal. I don't think any book will ever do as good as 1984, just talking about, like, you need to watch out for big government, you need to watch out for yourselves and your safety when the government wants more of your privacy. Because in other books like Fahrenheit 451, like there's a successful rebellion kind of, and you're able to read books, and there's a whole society of people reading books. But here in like 1984, it's just like even when you think you're sneaky, the government is watching. You can't trust anyone in your country because they all work for the government, and I think it's a very good cautionary tale of what a truly dystopian society would be like. And I think it definitely deserves a place listed as like the classics just because of how well it portrays that issue. So on that note, I think the world building in this is just absolutely crazy and insane. There's very few books that can pull off good world building, and 1984 is just phenomenal at it. Orwell makes like a beautiful society in the way like, if they had a government like this, I definitely think, there'd be those poorer people that kind of still remember stuff, but, aren't really important to the party, so they're not treated, like weirdly like the party members. But yeah, the world building in this is just, it just goes crazy. And like, no one else in like the dystopian book world can probably even hold a T to 1984. Big Brother is just like an iconic character even if you've never read 1984, you've probably heard Big Brother is always watching. The idea of Big Brother is just so phenomenal. Like there's some entity figure that's like always watching you, and you need to be careful with what you do because, he is watching. And it's just too good. The whole thing with the ministries too, Ministry of Love, even with the reveal at the very end, like they're really good, like Big Brother truly does love you and wants you to love him a lot. Just like that concept is pretty good. This wall is turning out pretty nicely, I'd say. It's supposed to kind of look like those old like colonial forts, I guess. Because I finally came up with a name for the city. We're going to be calling it Fort Oxbow. I think that would be a cool city name. So this area is going to be called Fort Oxbow. And an oxbow is just the thing you put around an ox when it carries a cart. But I think that's very mountainy, but also like cowboy enough to, work well in this world. Okay, so looking at it from down here, it's like very small. Like this side's all right, but you can't really see anything. That's not too big of an issue because I plan on doing something next episode that'll make that more visible. Hint, hint. But we also ended up with a lot more wood than I imagined based on my calculations, so I think I might just go through and add like another layer on top of this, especially this side because I think I was running out of blocks and just mentally decided to put less there, so I think I'm just going to put another layer on top right there. Alright, so, I was just walking around, having fun, and I heard a hiss. I don't know how I heard a hiss, because it's daytime, but I gotta run. I hit escape, so it's paused, but I gotta run. Oh, that wasn't too bad, actually. That freaked me out, though, because I saw that out of the corner of my eye as I was just going around adding another layer. And then, boom! Oh, is there a cave here? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That freaked me out though. I was like, it's daytime. It's like about to be night. How is there a creeper here? But yeah, I'm just adding another layer. That area kind of looks low, but we have so much wood. Um, I think I might actually be done, honestly, with this because it looks fine enough as is. I don't think we need to add any more layers. If we need to, we can go through and add them in a future episode, but I think for today, like it's a good enough height. But I think now all we need to go through and do is remove the stone in front. So, just do this. But yeah, while we do this, I figured I'd talk about my next praise for the book, which is the frightening portions of the book are done really well. Room 101, the entirety of the Ministry of Love in general, is really scary, and like it's terrifying to even think about a place like that existing. So I think Orwell did a phenomenal job there of just the horror aspect of the book. I didn't expect 1984 to be as scary as it was, but having your head stuck in a cage with hungry rats, it doesn't get much scarier than that. And like I was saying earlier, just the omnipotence, I think that's the word, but the omnipotence of Big Brother throughout the book and the thought police and just like being caught by the thought police, the fear of it, the fear of the unknown, essentially, is just really well done. Oh yeah, removing the stone makes it appear a lot taller, too. So, definitely good moves by doing that. Alright, so I think the last thing we gotta do is just go and place these stairs on all of the wood. So I'm just gonna do this, and this kind of makes like this jagged post look. So I think, I'm not sure if we're gonna strip the wood at all, because that'd be a lot of wood stripping, but I think, from a distance it'll look fine. We can always strip it later if we don't like it, but I'm just gonna go through and add these stairs like so. So I think the last thing I have to talk about the book is basically about how 1984 is a really nice, thought-provoking, and intriguing book on the concept of mass surveillance and what a truly authoritarian and evil regime would do. I think it provides a very good discussion on the balance between freedom and happiness, because, you can't have the entirety of both. So this one shows a reality of supposed, full happiness and full success, even if that comes at the expense of, just horrible living conditions to the point where you end up being happy. But, you are happy, so does that matter if you're not free to know that you could be happier? Like, that's a intriguing question to me, and very happy I read 1984. Very good book. And as I've been going through here, placing all the stairs on this, I've fallen off a couple times, if you haven't noticed by, my health. But I think I have come to the conclusion that we are going to have to go through and strip all these logs, because it looks really goofy if you don't. Right? Like, this doesn't make sense. So I need to strip at least the spruce, so I think I'll just strip everything. Yeah, so just looking at the other side over there, right, it kind of just looks like a solid black wall with like a little brown cubes on it. Oh, what's up, dude? Anyway, so I'm thinking what we do is we just go like this on everything. Honestly, I might just do the spruce, because I think there's a larger contrast between those two than those two. That's very minuscule. But these two look the same, so I want it to look sort of like a solid post. So I'm just going to go through and strip all of the spruce. Alright, so that's the last of it. Just stripping like 20 stacks of logs. But I'm definitely happy we did that, because that adds a lot more character to the wall. Because now it's not just, like a solid block of dark brown, and it's got a little bit of highlights in there. And hopefully if we go down all the way, we can see it from below. And hopefully it looks, just a little cooler than it did before. I'm not sure if the stairs will even render, but oh yeah, they render decently well. It looks pretty spiky, and the colors work really well now. So you can actually see that the fence is there. It wasn't the case before, but you can definitely see them now. So like even from like the barn over here, there's a very clear wall there, and that's going to be, I feel like that gives a nice atmosphere to our area that we didn't have before. So I'm very happy we did that. So I was watching back on my last book review, and I realized that this book is spelled incorrectly. The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. I put an F there, so now it's correct. We have The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by Mark Comer. That was episodes 2 through 8. So now we can sign our new book, which is, I think technically it's 1984 spelled out, by George Orwell. Episodes 9 through 18, because that was today's episode. And my official rating for the book is probably going to be like 8 out of 10 again. I think I enjoyed it as much as Comer's book, right? Oh, 1984. Sign and close. So yeah, we have The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry in 1984. I enjoyed both of these books pretty much, but, I had a couple gripes with both of them. But now, we're filling up this bookshelf a bit, and hopefully we'll be like 6 books in by the time we're done with this entire city for Oxbow, as I said earlier. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode, so thank you all for watching. This was quite the project today. We got a lot done. We got like 40 stacks of logs placed, so, that's pretty cool, or whatever. For next episode, we're going to be starting The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. And for that, just read the first 3 chapters. I've decided that every episode's going to be around... I've decided that every episode's going to be around 3 chapters, except I think the last one might just be 2 chapters, but they're reasonably sized. They're very quick chapters. I think they're like 10 pages each, and it's a very fun book. Very nice voice, so I highly recommend it. We're going to read it, and we're going to have fun discussing it here on the channel. So I think that video is going to go up Wednesday, because Monday I'm going to try and get an SMP video out. I know a few of you have been wanting the next episode of the SMP, and I've been working on it, alright? I will have an SMP video out before the next book club video. That's my promise to you. But we'll be back on Wednesday, hopefully, and we'll be back with a massive project that's going to completely transform Fort Oxbow into something magnificent. So like I said earlier, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, appreciate the support, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.